From the skies of terror to the galactic rim. At the start of the Heresy, where Horus revealed his true colours and the lunar wolves became the sons of Horus, the Death Guard raised their true flag and the World Eaters bore the symbol of chaos. If Istvaan V was named an atrocity, maybe it was named too soon, as Istvaan V had yet to happen. What is going on, guys? Welcome back, and today we are going to be starting our planning process in a little video series which is going to be building the Horus Heresy starter set into one giant diorama. In this video we're going to go over the lore for where I want to base my diorama onto. So we're going to be looking at the Istvaan V Dropsite Massacre, and that part of the lore really interests me, so I really want to build a diorama on it, and perfect opportunity. Also, we are going to be 3D printing some stuff, and I have written a short story for a bit of direction for where my diorama is to go, and I'll be reading that at the end of this video, so stick around for that. I think it was quite a cool little story I've written, but I am always open to more suggestions. I like to listen to you guys, so leave your comments down below if you've got any ideas, anything extra to add, or anything that you would like to see from this. So with this, we're going to be doing all sorts. With the box set, we're going to be adding some 3D printed models into it. We're going to be doing some large sort of foam building. There's going to be scenery basing, all sorts. So I'm going to actually build the base for everything in one video, and then we're going to be adding the models and painting them all up in a separate one, because there's going to be quite a bit of content that I can get out of that one box with these, splitting this probably into about 3 videos. So hopefully 3. I don't want it to be any more than that. I don't really like making part 1, part 2 videos, as you guys may have noticed. I like to sort of cram everything in and sort of be like, here you go, here's the cool thing that I made. But with this, I don't want to rush the diorama and make something half-baked. I want to make something really cool, and that's what the next couple of weeks is going to involve, really. As soon as that box arrives, we're going to be tearing it open, giving it a little box review, seeing what's actually in there, and then we're going to be building and painting the whole lot. I'm pretty excited for it. I hope you guys get pretty excited for it. And now we're going to go on and talk about some of the lore about the Istvaan V Dropsite Massacre. With this, I'm going to be using a lot of Games Workshop and Black Library art, but I might have got some fan art in there. So if anybody recognises a piece of fan art, please leave a comment down below, put a timestamp on it, and tell me who the artist is. It's not my bit of kit, it's theirs. I want them to get the recognition for it, and I'll be adding it into the description. And later on in the videos, I'll give them a shout out on their art as well, and I'll find out where you can see more of it if you like it, because, well, we're all 40k nerds here, and we're sort of stepping into that 30k, but it's all one big history. Anyway, guys, let's jump into it and see where this diorama is going to take us. 10,000 years is an immense amount of time to conceive. In our own history, 10,000 years ago, in the year 8000 BC, cows and cats had only just first started to become domesticated. The plough, to plough your field and sow your seeds to grow your crops, had not been invented. The large giant sloth had just become extinct, and small pockets of the woolly mammoth were starting to die out, and they only went 4,000 years ago in 1650 BC. If you were to continue to look at our own history, 10,000 years ago, if you wanted to just pop to the next village, the next city, or the next country over, you were walking or swimming. So with just that in mind, you can now imagine the immense stagnant state of the Imperium. A land raider from Horus's time is a land raider now. A land speeder from the Heresy time is a land speeder now. An Imperial Knight is a knight now. A titan is still a titan. We've only just received a new form of innovation and progression with the Primaris Marines and their vehicles, with the repulsors and gladiators. So from going from walking to what we have now in our modern society is almost like saying in 10,000 years Elon Musk's Tesla is going to be a little bit better. Now that the stage has been set for the Horus Heresy 30k era, let me tell you why the Istvaan system was such an important part and place to play. Istvaan had some of the most stable warp routes in all of the galaxy. From here, it could be a major staging area to launch armadas of troops, tanks, aircraft, and anything you want from there. You could reach any part of the galaxy from here very easily, safely, and en masse. This is why Horus would have chosen Istvaan V as his staging area and start of the Heresy, to lure the new loyalists and traitor legions into areas where he can play the best cards. Horus was known for his mastery of naval battles, or space naval battles, I suppose you could say. So when the 7 legions that were sent to recall Horus and make him answer for his crimes against the Emperor, they immediately expected there to be a space battle on arrival into the Istvaan system. When they arrived, they realised this was not the case. On Istvaan V, Horus and Fulgrim had built an immense base under the Urgal depression on a plateau. This would be the staging area for the Dropsite Massacre. Those 7 legions I spoke of were the Night Lords, Raven Guards, Iron Warriors, Word Bearers, Salamanders, Alpha Legion, a small force of Imperial Fists, and the Iron Hands. Now, from that list, I'm sure you can realise who's about to be very, very outnumbered. Remember, if the attack's going well, it's probably an ambush. Alongside the Sons of Horus on Istvaan V, you also had the Death Guard and the World Eaters. With them, they also had a Titan Legio, an Imperator class Titan Legio, Legio Mortis, also known as the Firebrands. Now you may be thinking, well, that's fine. The Loyalists had Legio Ataris. Well, you see, Titans aren't exactly dropped in one piece planet side. Using a macro lander, Titans are landed and then assembled planet side before they can start to attack. And if you ask me, there's a bit of a flaw to that plan, especially if you're going up against Titans that are already fully assembled and ready to destroy. The first legions to arrive on Istvaan V were the Raven Guards, Salamanders, Imperial Fists, and Iron Hands. They were sent in via drop pod as an initial shock after the orbital bombardment that would have destroyed the front lines at the Urgal depression. The thing is, the traitors had already fought at this and had only left their penal legion in defence of that area. Once all the Iron Hands, Salamanders, Imperial Fists and Raven Guard had been committed to the contact, that is when the rest of the legions joined. The Night Lords, the Iron Warriors, the Word Bearers, the Alpha Legion. Their modes of transport onto this battlefield was via Stormbirds and Thunderhawks. A bit of a difference from the one-way ticket that a drop pod gives you. So now we can see the traitors' plan starting to unfold, as all the traitor Primarchs before the battle had conversed and they had spoken with their first captains, and which the first words and the first time it was uttered that was written on the side of the 4th edition rulebook. The first captain to the Night Lords, Servitor, said death to the false emperor. As the battle ebbed and flowed, in the first 2 hours of Istvaan V, 10,000 Marines had been killed. That number was only about to grow. The Iron Warriors set up a defensive perimeter on the north, east and south of the battlefield. They were starting to box in our Loyalist Marines. As the traitors that were known fell back and allowed the Loyalist Marines to push forward before being repelled immensely, we find that our Iron Hands, Imperial Fists, Raven Guards and Salamanders call out to their brothers for aid and help, only to be answered by the fire of their bolters. The heresy may have already started, but the Horus heresy had just truly begun. Now, as promised at the beginning of this video, here's the short story that I've created for this diorama. As the rest of my brothers locked into the loading manifold of the drop pod and the lights dimmed to a low red light, our sergeant called out over the vox.
Brace for launch. Red light. Green light, pod away.
The silence, broken only by the hum of the pod and the clattering of ceramite armour against the racking.
Entering atmosphere.
Our drop zone was the Urgel Plateau. We were then to fight our way up to the Urgel Depression to engage our traitorous brothers.
3,000, 2,000, 1,000. Brothers, make ready.
Our drop pod had made planetfall with a loud, thunderous bang. We had landed as if the fist of the Emperor had struck the ground himself. The doors burst open. A hail of steel, lead and hot plasma rained from all sides as the extent of Horus's betrayal lay bare before us. The ground lay thick with the bodies of the dead. No soil could be seen, only drenched in the blood of my brothers and friends. We had landed to the north of our drop zone, near the mountain pass where the plateau grew into mountainous valleys. The battle raged above as it did below. You could hear the horns sound on the Titans as they got a kill on one another. Legio Ateris and Mortis were locked in a fierce engagement. Then a horn rang deep and loud and close. The Mechanicus had only half built a Reaver when the Sun Fury Annihilator melted it back to slag. Across the Vox came the order.
Break contact. Fall back to the ridgeline. Back to the Iron Warriors, brothers.
In a panic, the Solar Auxilia hastily made their way back while we held the rear guard. But there were two Titans pressing in on our left, and Mortarion had been spotted like a grim reaper of souls, cutting through our lines. As we made our way back to the Iron Warriors, I called out on the Vox.
Help. Help us, brothers. We must win the day.
Their answer cut through the air as my eyes widened and the only sound I could hear. As I lay there, stunned and dying, I could only think to myself this one thing. This war will be absolute, or it will make us obsolete. Thank you so much for joining me this far into the video. If you are about to leave and click off now, just remember to like, share, subscribe before you disappear. You've watched it this far, you might as well. You know, I've done all this for you. Do that one little thing for me, please. So, as I said earlier in the video, this is going to be a 3-part video series. This is the first video, so there's 2 more to come. We're going to be building the base in the next one, and then we'll be building the figures and painting them all up in the last one. These are going to take me a bit of time to get out. I'm concentrating all my efforts on this at the moment, so I've been trying to get my videos out on a Thursday. Don't expect any formal schedule from me at the moment, because I want to be able to get the best product out to you guys, and I don't want to feel constrained by time limits. So just bear with me for the next month or so, and then we'll be back to regularly programs and regularly scheduled videos, and doing a bit more One Tip Does Plenty and the likes. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.